And the vignette is called, with a jeu de mots, a golden bracing encounter. So this happened, it's a true story of what happened to me in Morocco. Yeah, at my age, my God. And I'm a year older than I was last time I was here. So, one should never be too hasty about deleting photos of people one has casually met. Such was the case of a tourist hustler called Mohammed X in Tangier. After all, why should I keep a photo of a frisky, persistent tout who had latched himself onto myself and my best friend Pauline when I invited her to Tangier for her birthday last June? We could not get rid of this young bumblebee student, so-called student, and so eventually allowed us to show us round the hilly Kasbah, the old Tangier fortress, avoiding the zillions of overflowing shops in the souk, shunning all the shops he wanted to show us, tempting us with the magical words, Berber jewellery. Finally, he manipulated and lured us to a tourist trap for multiple large day tripper groups from Tarifa, a sumptuous decorated furnished restaurant for lunch. It was there I took his photo, despite his broad smile with a noticeable gold finger metal brace on all his upper palate, a sight to behold. I was invited back the next day for a complimentary late lunch by the owners when they discovered I had written more than 1,000 reviews on TripAdvisor. They wanted a glowing report, bien sûr. My review was not glowing, more about the decor and live traditional music played by older, underpaid local musicians, taking care not to mention the constant complaints about having been overcharged by the irate day trippers, mainly Spanish. In Mohammed came with new victims, an American couple. It was only then I realised that we had been pulled in as typical punters, and he, of course, was not a student, but an experienced young hustler. Of course, we'd given him a few dirhams for his so-called studies, not realising at the time that we'd been duped. It was only on my next trip in low season, January 2020, that I had the misfortune to run into him late one night, around 10 o'clock, walking back alone on the Petit Socco to my dar in the Medina. Mohammed greeted me like a long-lost intimate friend, even remembering I reviewed places for TripAdvisor, where I had stayed and when. Had he kept a little black book on all his victims, I wondered? When he invited me for a late-night mint tea, I refused. What had I in common with a 28-year-old hustler? Nada. However, la, that means no in Arabic, did not exist in his vocabulary. He was so manipulative and persistent that I gave in, thinking he was going to take me to a local cheap cafe, and I would be conned into paying 15 dirhams for a Berber tea I did not want. But no, Mohammed lured me into the upmarket, beautifully appointed Palais Zaire, the very place I wanted to stay and attempt to negotiate the price for the sumptuous Sultan suite. After all, I am Sultana JILLIANA. Yet again, I asked if he was inviting me. Yes, he confirmed, visualizing his evening's investment. The evening receptionist, Anas, glanced up from his desk as Mohammed ushered me into the lift to go to the roof terrace. I felt irritated I had been recognised and seen with a potential toy boy. Mohammed knew the terrace would be dark and deserted. I did not. On arrival, he tried to persuade me to climb even higher to the top terrace. No way, Jose, alone on a top terrace in the dark with a frisky Moroccan tout was not my idea of fun. I sat down on the 3-seater rattan sofa, waiting desperately for a waiter to take the order. Mohammed sat close to me, flashing his golden draconian smile in the dark of the terrace, as the candles had not yet been lit by the waiter come genie. Finally, the genie appeared to take the order, light a candle, and vanish in a puff of smoke. Then Mohammed started his tourist technique by first daring to put his hand on my right leg below my thigh. After I brushed him off as one would a fly, his hand landed on my upper right arm. Was this a magical move meant to arouse me? Was it a Moroccan strategic foreplay? Where was Allah or the genie to protect me? Worse, he put his head on my shoulder, asking me while gazing into my eyes if I liked him. Are you kidding? La, meaning no, was my immediate reply, and I pushed him away. I assured him I was not a sugar mummy. I was amazed when he suggested I write him a good TripAdvisor comment on one of the tour operator's sites, as he claimed to be their guide, and as most American women came to Morocco for virile Moroccan men, that maybe I should get a room at Palais Zaire for us. Us? How could he be so dumb? Bed with a tout for a glass of tea? Did he think I was going to fly with him on a magic carpet to the Sultan suite? I assured him I had come to Morocco on a culture trip, not a sexual trip. I immediately got up to leave. Mohammed, seeing his 35 dirham tea time investment yielded no growth, crestfallen went to the kitchen to pay the genie and dolefully put me in the lift. I had spent a distasteful 30 to 40 minutes up on the roof terrace, and it was only when I related my story to my soul sister Pauline the next night that she said I should have reported his harassment not only to the hotel for allowing him on the premises, but also to the tourist police. It is one thing to be hassled to go for lunch and buy the inevitable rug or piece of Berber or Tuareg jewellery, but it is serious when a predator makes an insinuated proposal to a woman who could be his grandmother. Should he ever succeed in finding his sugar mummy, I hope she removes his gold braces and gets his teeth fixed. Allah!
Thank you. And thank you for everyone for listening to Your Voice Matters.